7 minutes after 6 o'clock. It is our Chicken and Cash Wrestling Hour here on the Talk Monster 102.3. Danny Gilbert in the house with us, Doc, Quake Cowboy Joe, and your phone calls are welcome. Talking wrestling, high school, college, we'll get into that in just a second. But as always, got to recap your world of sports, and here you go, Tom Brady talking about the safety in the first quarter of the Super Bowl last night.
It's a referee's judgment call. I was looking down the middle of the field, and Tuck, I think, was coming to get me, and I tried to get rid of it. And, the refs made the call.
Here is the
Was it Sherwood Forest?
That ought to tell you that it was a good call or not. Right there.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN, The Fan in New York, and Bob Papa with the call of the Blackburn interception.
Brady calls out the signals. Takes the snap, he's back to throw. He's under pressure, and he's going to now he runs out of the sack, and now Brady rolls to his right, throws a deep ball downfield for Gronkowski. Jump ball, intercepted by the Giants. Chase Blackburn picked it off at the 8-yard line.
And the one we've been waiting for, because now we have a somewhat intelligent analyst that has his opinion on Peyton versus Eli. Kind of what we've been talking about just a little bit throughout the afternoon.
Eli Manning has done a great job. He's won 2 Super Bowls. But the history of Peyton Manning, remember, Peyton Manning has changed how the quarterback position is played.
And that's Herm Edwards. So,
really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, you could say that.
How is
standing at the line making all the audibles
on every play, not just a third and three.
Reading it. I mean, they're not sending hardly anything into him, I don't think. I think he stands out there and surveys what's going on and makes decisions based on the matchups.
Yep.
But other people aren't doing it.
Well, watch a quarterback go out and see if they go 2-14 without him when they've been going 11-5 and 12-4.
Yeah,
he's in my top 5.
So big weekend of wrestling, of course, from the state duels all the way down to Appalachian State and the Mocs in a single match that had
great match.
The place pumping, I guess, right at McClellan Gym.
It was a great match. They brought a good crowd. We had a great crowd there. I heard y'all say 1,000. If there was only 1,000 there, I'm shocked. It seemed like a lot more than that.
I just read that, whether it was in the paper or maybe on GoMox.com.
It may have been, but it sure looked like more than that. It was exciting.
So talk about how, it went back and forth.
Yeah, it went back and forth. There was a couple of matches that could go either way.
There was a pin of
there was one
kid from Heritage, Canada, and he got major decision, and that kind of flipped the points, right?
There was a pin at 184 where, Appalachian State's really got a tough kid. And then there was a pin at 149, and that was a match that was in overtime. And what a lot of people don't get about overtime, and we as coaches, we've discussed this a lot, we don't think there ought to be able to be a pin in overtime. In regulation, if you're wrestling and you feel yourself getting in trouble like you're going to your back, you're just going to bail out and give them 2 takedown. But in overtime, if you bail out and give them 2 takedown, that's the match and you lose. So you can't bail out. You got to stay in there and fight. And when he stayed in there and fought, it took him to his back and then ended up getting pinned. So instead of them getting 3 points, they got 6. And that's a pretty tough pill to swallow. But at the same time, we got beat by 4, so we'd still got beat by 1.
And my apologies to Canada because it was at 184, but that was only to go down 6-3 or whatever.
Yeah, it was the second match.
The one you were talking about was kind of towards the end and really was a difference. The game changer, basically. Dan, let's see, it was
Kelly Felix.
Kelly Felix getting beat by Sawa Costas or whatever from
and he's in overtime with him. It's a match that could go either way. They had some great flurries.
Right.
And it's just one where we got into overtime, and like I say, they got in this flurry that could have gone either way. And, once he started going to his back, if he bails out, he loses the match. So, he stays in there and tries to fight through it and wasn't able to, and they do get the pin, and it's 6 points instead of 3, so pretty big deal.
2 evenly matched squads, I would think.
Oh, yes. And it'll be fun to watch. We got the Southern Conference in Chattanooga. It's going to be on March 3rd at UTC, and these two will lock up again, and it'll be a lot of fun to watch.
Some good crowds.
Yeah,
yes.
Big time. Quick break, and we'll come back, and we'll talk about the duels, which is basically the team events that we had happen this past weekend, and then we'll get set for the region action, which is coming up this coming weekend, and then 2 weeks or a week from Saturday, a week from Friday, it'll be the state championship traditional.
If you saw the duels, call us at 267-1023.
Come right back with Alex and your phone calls, 267-1023. It's Sport Talk and our Checking the Cash Wrestling Hour on WGOW, the Talk Monster.
Last night a little angel came pumping on the floor. She said, come baby, you got a license for love. And if it expires, pray help from above. Because in the midnight hour, she cried more.
How quick can you click? A few clicks on your smartphone and you've found the app for us. Listen live anytime on your phone, laptop, desk, or even your radio at 102.3 FM.
Wall Street now. Stock indexes were lower as Greek talks on an austerity package continued. Greek leaders told by France and Germany they need to push through spending cuts and other measures or risk letting the country go bankrupt. The Dow down 17, the S&P off less than a point, and the Nasdaq lost about 4. Gasoline prices are going up, but oil futures were down nearly $1. For the third consecutive year, the Super Bowl set a record as the most watched TV show in U.S. history. More than 111 million people tuned in. Deirdre Bryant, ABC News.
Does your garage door wake up the neighborhood? Hi, this is Matthew Nicely from Northgate Doors. When it comes to installing, repairing, and replacing garage doors, we're the experts. We've been doing it since 1972. By putting the customer first and providing first-rate service after the sale, we've been going strong for generations. Plus, we service and repair virtually every brand of door and opener. So if you didn't buy from us, that's okay. You'll still get the same service as our longtime customers. Cold weather is here, and now is a great time to get your doors serviced or replaced to cut your energy costs. It could mean a big difference in your heating bill. Call today for a free estimate or just visit our showroom off 153 and Bonnie Oaks Drive. Northgate Doors, 855-3939 and online at northgatedoors.com.
If you've been thinking about having that beautiful kitchen you've always wanted but were unsure how to do it, call Granite Transformations right now and find out how. Call 702-6184 to find out about Granite Transformations. Get beautiful granite countertops and backsplashes done in a day with no demolition and no mess. Granite Transformations countertops are heat, stain, and scratch resistant too. Your kitchen is the heart of your home, and Granite Transformations can make it a showplace you'll be proud to have. If your cabinets are worn and outdated, Granite Transformations can transform them into beautiful new cabinets in a few days. Reface your cabinets instead of replacing them and save the time, aggravation, and money, especially now. Start 2012 with new granite countertops and cabinets from Granite Transformations. Call 702-6184. That's 702-6184 for your free consultation with Granite Transformations. 702-6184.
Meet the nation's new favorite couple, Barry and John. Sometimes they get along really well.
This debate isn't about President Obama and House Republicans.
Other times, not so much.
The new approach that Speaker Boehner unveiled today would force us to once again face the threat of default just 6 months from now.
The sad truth is that the president wanted a blank check 6 months ago, and he wants a blank check today.
Stay tuned for more hijinks from the nation's new odd couple.
Something wrong with this system, that's what's wrong.
102.3 The Talk Monster. You don't have to like them to listen, but you do have to listen, or risk being out of the informational loop. Local hosts, local talk on the station that lives and loves Chattanooga. Talk Radio 102.3, WGOW FM.
.616, it is our Checking the Cash Wrestling Hour. Sport Talk, Doc Quake, Cowboy Joe, Danny Gilbert hanging with us, and we're talking wrestling with you. 267-1023, some great action up at the Duels in Franklin, Tennessee.
Oh, it was really exciting. Sure was. A lot of them came down to the last match.
So the D2 champion goes to?
Christian Brothers.
Christian Brothers.
Defeated Father Ryan in the finals.
Memphis, right?
Yes. First time Memphis has had a state champion team in wrestling. They've had some individual state champions, but no team champion.
And Baylor finishes third.
Baylor finished third, beating McCauley. I think it was like 42-29, maybe something like that.
Doc had reports of controversy.
Well, there's always going to be controversy in wrestling. I mean, it's all judgment. So, yeah, there's always going to be some controversy. Now, I'm not exactly sure which match he's talking about,
right.
but Based on what he said up there, I got an idea.
Was that the Baylor
match, no, it's Baylor Christian Brothers. And let me set the stage, and you're not going to criticize anybody because it is an opinion on a referee's call. But the final match, Baylor had to win by 15. A major decision, is that correct?
No, major's by 8. It's called a tech fall by 15.
A tech fall by 15 to tie. Now, if they would have tied, they would have won because they won more matches in Christian.
They would have won on the criteria if it come down to a tie.
So whoever wrestled at 190, I think.
It's either 195 or 220. I want to think it was 195.
Had to tech fall him. And he was up by 15.
He was up by 13.
Okay.
And real close takedown on the edge of the mat.
One referee signal, I've got two.
Now, he doesn't signal it. The head referee's the only one that does any signaling. The head referee did not have a takedown. The assistant referee said, I might have 2 right there. They discussed it, and he said, no, I'm going to stick with my call, which is what a lot of head referees are going to do.
Right.
And I think there was a minute 5 to go in the match. If he had given that takedown, that would have been the tech fall. The match would have ended, and Baylor would have won on the criteria and moved on.
Baylor fans think that the guy stalled for much of the match. No stalling points were ever given to Baylor.
No, there was one stalling point given. There was a warning and a stalling point. Now, I understand.
Because they knew that they, as long as it wasn't a tech fall, they advanced.
Either, yeah. Well, now if they got pin or tech fall.
Right.
Pin would have been 6. Baylor would have won by 1.
But he had him on his back in the first period.
Yes, he did.
And it was controversy there.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I don't think I ever saw where I thought he was pinned. But it, somebody was saying, what they would have called stalling, and I'm like, well, he scored 13 points. I mean, if you're scoring 13, they can't be stalling real bad.
Right.
But, there was some stalling called, and I can understand where they're coming from, saying, they thought there should have been more stalling. But, again, as a referee, when you're standing out, you're making that decision. And what a lot of people don't understand in sports, I mean, you watch that football game last night when they called a penalty. Very unusual. There was one time it did result in points because it was called a safety. But normally when they call a penalty, they don't put points on the board. They just move the ball. In wrestling, when we call a penalty, we put points. Basketball, you shoot free throws. But in wrestling, there's a point put on the board.
Tough sport.
It is tough. And, our scores are not 21-17. And like in basketball, they're not 85-81. They're 4-3, 5-2. And so when you talk about putting a point on the board, you got to be sure. I mean, it's got to be a definite thing. But when the takedown that they felt like they should have gotten, it was with a minute 5 to go, you still thought he was going to get another takedown. But what did kind of happen is he worked so hard for 5 minutes and 40 seconds that he kind of ran out of gas. I mean, he just going so hard that whole match. And I was sitting by Clinton, and I told Clint, I said, I'm afraid he's getting a little bit tired here. I said, he's shooting a lot, and, his gas tank's starting to run down too.
What a great match.
Oh, it was a great match. Comes right down to the very last one. And here's something that a lot of people don't consider, and I think because I'm a referee, I do. There was a match in a Ravenwood and Science Hill match that did the same thing. It came down to the very last match. And in this match, they wanted stalling called as well. Now, if this is the second match of the dual meet, nobody cares how it was called. It would have been fine. If it's the 4th match of the dual meet, nobody would have complained. It would have been fine. But when it's the 14th to 14 and the winner is based on this match, then everybody gets a little stronger opinion of how it's officiated.
Mm-hmm.
But trust me, the exact same officiating done the first or second match of the dual meet, we would not have this conversation about that right now.
And the same way with the Baylor.
I'm talking about both
match.
of them.
Yeah,
both of them.
Yeah.
If it had been the
That's
second, third, fifth, 8th match, nobody would be as upset on how it's officiated. It's the fact that it came down to the very last match.
Right.
And depending on what takes place is going to determine who wins and who doesn't win.
We'll talk to Alex, but I think you want to tell us the kind of the moxie that a young Mr. Zach Watson had when he fell down 5-0.
I'm going to tell you, that was impressive. I had just finished calling a match and came off, and I'd heard him announcing that Zach Watson and Tate Robinson were going to be wrestling each other, and I'm telling you, these are 2 studs. These guys can go. And so I start walking down there to watch that match because I knew my round for the evening was done. I'd completed what I had to do. So I go down there, and he's down 5-1. And I'm thinking, wow. And I'm looking at the first period's coming to an end. He's down 5-1. The kid from Christian Brothers, Robinson, he chooses bottom. And Watson rides him out. He doesn't turn him, but Robinson doesn't escape. So it's 5-1 going into the third period, and you still think, hey, man, he's in trouble. Well, Watson gets a quick escape, makes it 5-2, takes him down pretty quickly, makes it 5-4. He lets Robinson go, so Robinson gets a point for an escape. It's now 6-4. Watson takes him down with about 35 seconds to go in the match. It's now 6-all. He rides him out. They go to overtime, and Watson takes him down. So, in other words, he's down 5-0, and he comes back and scores really basically 8 straight points.
Wow.
I mean, even though Robinson got one for an escape, Watson turned him loose, gave him that. So, he pretty much came back with 8 straight points, which shows what a champion he really is, what a warrior he is.
Good stuff.
And
it was great.
The mental game just as strong as the physical game.
The mental game is what takes over in these things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's mentally how tough you are and what kind of condition you're in, because the mind can get weak as your body gets tired.
Right.
But you see some guys, they're just able to reach down and find something in them that a lot of people can't find. And Zach's definitely one of those.
267-1023, we've got Alex. Welcome to Sport Talk and Talk Radio, Alex. Hello.
Hello. Good evening, my friends.
Good evening, sir.
I'm going to keep you guys a second because I don't know much about wrestling, I'll be honest. I got 2 friends that were wrestlers in high school and over in Lookout Valley, and they were great wrestlers, Dusty Griffith and Tim Voiles. But I just want to call actually to congratulate our former wrestling coach out in Lookout Valley, Coach Brooks, becoming in the Tennessee State Wrestling Hall of Fame. I just want to congratulate him.
And which one is he, Danny? Is he in the list there?
That's Ashley Brooks. There's 6 being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Ashley Brooks from Lookout Valley, now at Saudi Daisy, is one of them. He started out really at City High School. He had their program there. He went to Lookout Valley, Coach Voiles and Dusty Griffith. He's going into the Hall of Fame. Lynn Goss from East Ridge, now the principal of McCauley Middle School, coached 2 state champion teams, second on another year. Ward Gossett, which I'm sure y'all know Ward. He's been with the Free Press for a long, long time. What a class individual. Tater Vineyard is also going in. He's a referee, wrestled at Bradley County, been officiating for probably about 25 years, did college as well. Bill Doc Hodges, which a lot of people may not know that name. Doc passed away back, I want to think it was in 1998. Super individual, officiated both football and wrestling for 40 years or more. He was an educator. He was a coach. He should have been in a long time ago. And then Roy and Marty Varner, and people may not be familiar with them. If they follow wrestling, they know their faces because they're 2 people who just give to our sport all the time. They're a behind-the-scenes person. Amazing the contribution they make. They've done a lot with, when the Olympic team was training here, and as far as the World Cup goes, as far as state tournaments go, all you have to do is ask Roy and Marty for help, and they're there.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's one guy going in named Frank Bryant. He's from Knox Carnes. He's the courageous American. He was one of the pilots that was shot and killed back on April 29th. There was an Afghan pilot that was eating lunch with these American pilots, and he had some mental problems and just pulled a gun out and started shooting. And Frank Bryant was one of those. I think there was 9 pilots that were killed that day.
Now, where did they have the banquet?
The banquet's going to be at the DoubleTree. It'll be on March 2nd. It'll be from 5:30 to 7 will be a social.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you.
And then starting at 7 o'clock, they'll do the banquet. And that'll be the day before the Southern Conference. We were going to do it on a Saturday, but we realized we were the same day as the Southern Conference. So we backed it up to Friday. We're going to have a little golf tournament just Friday afternoon, just kind of as a social thing. And then we'll have the banquet Friday night and the Southern Conference on Saturday. So it'll be a big weekend for wrestling.
You in this Hall of Fame?
I was inducted 3 years ago.
Good.
So
is there any website or any phone number they can call for information?
They can get in touch with me. They can get in touch with PA Bowler, but they're not going to know how to get in touch. Just if they're interested in going, tell them to contact me, either at Saudi Daisy High School or if they want to call Joe and get my cell number, I'm fine with that.
Okay. 267-1023 if you want any information that Danny can give you. Let's get Bart. Welcome to our Chicken to Cash Wrestling Hour here on Sport Talk. Bart, hello.
How you doing?
Good.
I just got a question for Dan Gilbert.
Okay.
I just want to ask if he ever experienced any studs in North Georgia in the 80s.
There was a lot of them. And there was a lot of them. There's always been studs in North Georgia. I can tell you that. Now, this sounds like Bart Ponders. Am I correct in that?
You're correct.
Well, Bart, it's good to hear from you. You need to call me sometime. I've not heard from you in a while.
Well, brother, I tell you what, after I left wrestling, I've been involved with ministry the last 23 years, but I think a lot about you.
Well, you just give me a call sometime. I'm doing well, Bart. I want you to call me when I get off the air. We need to talk. I hadn't talked with you in a while.
Well, good deal. Well, good luck tonight, and I enjoy listening to somebody just told me you were doing this, and I wanted to holler at you and say hello, and I'm thinking about you.
Well, I appreciate that, Bart. You mean a lot to me, and I want you to stay on the line and get my number from Joe. I want you to call me after a while.
Sounds great.
Hang on, Bart. Thank you, Bart. Quick break, and then we'll come back. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Bart is one that wrestled for me, and his wife played softball for me. I coached both him and his wife.
Wow, that's scary.
Just great people.
Quick break, coming right back with Joe, and your phone calls are welcome. 267-1023. We'll have Danny recap the Division I from the duels from this past weekend when we come back in the next segment. It is Sport Talk 628, and your phone calls are welcome. 267-1023. A look at your Storm Track 9 David Glenn forecast. Clear tonight, low in the mid-30s. Partly cloudy tomorrow, highs in the mid-50s, and it's all brought to you by Friendly Auto. Tune in right here, Sport Talk, tomorrow night, 5 p.m. We'll announce the winner of the Chattanooga Mocs basketball tickets. Friendly Auto has the best selection of quality cars, trucks, and SUVs at reasonable prices. Shop online at friendlyauto.com, friendlyauto.com. Sport Talk continues on a Monday, WGOW.
Still the ones you know and love. The talkers that actually say something. The monster hosts of the Talk Monster. WGOW-FM.
Most of the time, I brought it on myself, but who could resist the perfect burger? I promised my tummy, never again. My tummy replied, embarrassing. Then I found Digestive Advantage. It's a supplement.
Shift Digestive Advantage dual-action formulas immediately begin to target your digestive needs.
My tummy liked that.
And with continued use, the healthy probiotic gives you long-term digestive support.
My tummy loved that.
Works now and later. That's the Digestive Advantage, with formulas for gas, constipation, lactose intolerance, and intensive bowel support.
There's nothing like a ghost story around the campfire, and I've got one that's not for the faint of heart. Once there was a camper who did not insure his RV with Geico. He didn't listen when fellow campers told him how much money Geico saved them by insuring their campers, trailers and pop-ups, or how he could save even more with a multi-policy discount. The camper paid dearly for his mistake. He paid out the nose, poor chap. Well, good luck getting to sleep after that doozy of a tale.
Call Geico or visit geico.com today to see how much our multi-policy discount could save you.
The Acropolis Grill has been serving up fresh, flavorful dishes at an incredible value for 16 years at Hamilton Place. Right now, they're offering a special 2 for $30 dinner menu. How would you like to enjoy an appetizer, 2 entrees, salad, bread, and dessert for you and a special someone for just $30? You can choose from options like cranberry chicken or panko breaded grouper. From char-grilled steaks to succulent chef creations, your friends and family will love the Acropolis. At the Acropolis, your meal always includes your salad, homemade bread, and side items. And of course, who can resist an Acropolis famous dessert? Choose from their fresh daily pastries and cappuccinos. The Acropolis consistently delivers delicious food with attentive, friendly service. Fresh produce from local and regional farms, seafood delivered direct from water to kitchen, meats cut right there on premises, and experience in preparing it all that you can taste in every bite. Come see why Chattanooga votes them the best Greek restaurant in the city. From our family to yours, the Acropolis Grill at Hamilton Place, where memories are made every day.
I'm here with Dr. Jason Robertson, sports medicine specialist and the director of the Orthopedic Walk-In Clinic with the Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Dr. Robertson, how do athletes and just the average person know when it's time to see a doctor about some type of injury?
Seek medical attention if you've had any type of problem that's been lasting more than a few days. It's always wise to seek medical attention just to get an x-ray to make sure everything looks okay.
You guys make that very easy.
We take care of youngsters from elementary school all the way up to octogenarian athletes who are out walking or senior Olympics and that type of thing. I really enjoy what I do and feel all the stories that I have are shown in jerseys and pictures that are hung on the wall in the clinic. It's a great career.
Call the Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics today and let their renowned orthopedic specialist, like Dr. Robertson, help you get back to the life you want. A life that happens in motion. Call 624-2696 or visit sportmed.com.
It's that time of year again. Time for the Home Show, the wonderful annual ritual when the Trading Convention Center is filled to the brim with thousands of ideas and experts that can help you make your home exactly what you've always dreamed about. The 2012 Tri-State Home Show is February 24th through the 26th with over 450 booths. You'll see the latest kitchens, landscaping, windows, remodeling, and building services. New for this year is the Man Cave. Not unlike the Bat Cave, at least mine's not. Come register for the great giveaways, including a Maytag kitchen package by Whirlpool Corporation. And of course, there is fun for the younger set with Star Wars characters and all kinds of fun for kids on Saturday from 11 to 5. The 46th Tri-State Home Show presented by the Home Builders Association of Greater Chattanooga and EPB Fiber Optics in partnership with the Chattanooga Times Free Press. The 2012 Tri-State Home Show is February 24th through the 26th with over 450 booths. You'll be inspired.
How do you like it? On your Android, BlackBerry, or iPhone? Maybe on your iPad or tablet? Laptop in the den? Desktop at work? In your car? Or even on that 20th century relic, the clock radio? No matter the source, lock it on 102.3 FM. That's WGOW.com.
Sport Talk, WGW. Of course, our Checking the Cash Wrestling Hour. Two more after tonight, and we'll preview your state championship next week, and then, of course, had a recap of the whole season on the 20th here. So, Danny Gilbert, we always good to see him and appreciate you coming by, my man. And,
I look forward to it.
Joe and Jamie coming up here in just 2 seconds, but first, just an overall recap of the Division I, which would be the public school division for Tennessee and those state duels from this past weekend.
There's large and small school in Division I.
Right.
In the small school, Central defeated Pigeon Forge in a great match. Hickson finished third. That's back-to-back years for Central in the small school division.
Pretty good.
Really wrestled well. They wrestled their first two dual meets, and I think they only lost 2 individual matches is what one of the moms told me. So out of 28, they were winning 26 of them in their first 2 matches.
Yeah, that's impressive.
In the large school, Saudi Daisy and Cleveland went to war, and that was kind of predicted that they would meet there early in the season. People felt like those were the 2 best dual meet teams. It came down to the very last match. It came down to the 126-pound weight class. You've got Josh Deckelman from Saudi Daisy and Ezra Taylor from Cleveland. Both of them feeling all the pressure in the world. Josh is a kid that had moved from Tullahoma to Saudi Daisy, and Ezra Taylor's a freshman. And here these 2 kids are walking out there with the weight of the world on their shoulders. And, whoever won, their team wins. And it comes down to that last match, which is what you want really as a fan for every dual meet. If they were all like that, we'd have a lot more fans. I mean, too many times it's one-sided. And Deckelman was able to get the win for Saudi Daisy, and as a result, Saudi Daisy won the team score. But, when you look back, probably 3 weeks ago, Saudi Daisy beat Cleveland 49-16, I believe was the final score. So they turned that around.
You've said it a million times. Things can change.
Yes, there's so many individual matches, and if you turn a couple of them around, I mean, there was 2 matches.
Go up some weight, down some weight,
or you get pinned in this match the first time you wrestle, and you beat the guy the second time. Well, you got 6 points the first time, you gave up 3 the second. That's a 9-point swing.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
And there was 2 matches where Cleveland turned around 19 points from that first match.
Wow.
They got pinned the first time and won the second, so that was 9. And in the other match, they got majored the first time, which means they got 14 points, and they pinned the second. So that was 10 points. So they turned around 19 points in 2 matches.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So Central and Saudi Daisy, your champs in the big and small division.
Chattanooga was once again very well represented in the dual meet state tournament.
267-1023, and we've got Joe. Welcome to our Checking the Cash Wrestling Hour, Joe. Hello.
Hey, Danny, Joe. Cleveland's going to come back and they're going to get Saudi in the state traditional tournament. But I heard you mention Bill Hodges' name. Could you tell me that Memorial Golf Tournament, about the scholarship program and the fundraising and all that.
Okay, the Bill Hodges Memorial, I'm glad you brought that up. You know, we talked about having that golf tournament for years, but nobody really embraced it. And then when we started talking about doing it in memory of Bill Hodges, everybody got on board with it. That's what kind of person Bill is. The Bill Hodges golf tournament is going to be sometime in May. Heath Esslinger is now taking over, the UTC wrestling coach is taking over the plans for that. I don't know if he has set a weekend for it or not yet. It is our scholarship that we draw from that in honor of Bill Hodges, and that banquet for the Bill Hodges scholarship will be, I think it's the 28th of February. It's going to be at Wally's in East Ridge, and I think it's at 6:30. I take that back. It's the 27th.
But this tournament's been going on quite, 18, 19 years now?
Well, no, we started it the year that Bill passed away. The very first tournament was in 99. I think Bill passed away in 98, and I think we started that tournament in 99. So we've probably done it, I guess we're coming up on our 13th year.
Okay. Yeah, I was supposed to get together with Heath tomorrow, and hopefully have something finalized sometime tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Now, the wrestling tournament that I was talking about the day of the Hall of Fame banquet, that's not the Bill Hodges tournament. We just felt like everybody coming in town, let's just have a golf tournament. We're not going to have champions or anything. We're just going to get out there, and it's more of a social event than it is anything else.
Right. Okay, sounds good, Danny.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sure. Joe, thanks for the phone call. Jamie, welcome to the Chicken to Cash Wrestling Hour on Sport Talk. Hello, Jamie.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Gilbert, this is Jamie McBride down from Northwest Georgia.
Oh, I remember you, Jamie. Heavyweight. This one right here was pretty.
I just wanted to say hello.
Oh, well, it's good to hear from you. And I'm going to tell you right now, this guy, both football and wrestling, this was a man right here. And I remember watching him wrestle. Tom Sell was the coach back then. They had some really good teams. I think y'all finished, second in the state and then won it one year?
We finished second 2 years in a row, actually.
Yeah. How are you doing, Jamie?
Say hello. I heard your voice on the radio, and I knew exactly who it was before I knew who was on before I heard your name. And I just want to say hello. Hope everything's going good for you.
Well, it's going great, Jamie. It's good to hear from you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for listening. And that's always good. We appreciate you tuning in to Talk Radio, Jamie. That's all those good stories. I mean, and Tom Sell, he was a Northwest Whitfield guy, wasn't he?
Well, he's teaching at their middle school now. He's actually from Ohio.
Okay,
he came here and wrestled for UTC.
Okay,
we called him Duracell because if there was anybody ever in shape, it was Tom.
Yeah, he's a marathon. What do you call it?
Triathlon guy, and he's an adventure race guy. And he was coaching at Dade County. It might have been called Northwest Dade at that time. I'm not sure. It was, it changed names a couple of times, but he had some studs, and that right there was one of them. Jamie McBride. I remember thinking, God, kid's got the biggest hands I've ever seen for a kid that size, and he was a heavyweight, but he was not chubby at all.
Mm-hmm.
He was a man.
He was just thick, right?
Yes.
So anyway, the champs, Soddy Daisy, they end the dual meet season 25-2. Cleveland is 17-6. Central is 20-5, and of course they all head to the traditional tournaments that begin this week. They go to they're each individual regions.
Right. There'll be one region at Soddy Daisy. It'll be Friday and Saturday, and then there'll be another region up at Bradley County, and that'll also be Friday and Saturday.
Okay. And the D2s don't have regions.
No. They have a 16-man bracket, and they'll, the next time they wrestle will be the state tournament. And theirs is a 2-day tournament. It's Friday and Saturday, where the rest of it is a 3-day tournament.
So what about the region smalls or the smalls?
They all go to one region now. There's a small school
That's just for the duels.
For the duels.
I got you.
Now I'm one that believes in.
So Central, Hickson, these teams that have had pretty decent success before will go to Soddy Daisy, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All the small schools will either be at Soddy Daisy or Bradley with the larger schools. Now, I'm one that kind of getting out on a limb by myself in some ways, but I think we need a small school and large school traditional. I think it's difficult for schools that have 400 kids to compete with schools that have 1,200 or 1,500. And I know everybody says we want one champion. I like that concept too, but it's at the expense of these smaller schools. And some reasons we don't have a lot more smaller schools doing it is because they don't have their own tournament.
Do you feel like that creates more wrestling factories, if it's fair? I know that's probably over the top as far as a definition, but if I'm little Junior Haskew and I can be good, but I I know that my team, I'm not going to get the best coaching or the best facilities or the best whatever.
Or practice partners. I mean,
practice
a lot of,
partners.
A
there
lot
you
of
go.
wrestling is
so
practice
would
partners.
that motivate me to move to a Bradley Central or a Saudi Daisy or a Baylor?
It sure can.
So having that division might make it spread across the board more than it
people
could
say.
be.
People say, well, they know they're not the real state champion. And it's like, no, look at any sport. You can. Tennis has large and small school. Track has large and small
buddy, they're
school.
The champs. They're the state champs.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
Football has single A, double A, triple A, 4A, 5A, and maybe
6A.
now even 6A.
Yep.
So what is the difference in all these other sports having classifications and wrestling? And I don't understand it. Now, with the Division II, there's really not enough schools to do it. They're not ready to do that, in my opinion, just because of the numbers they've got. But in Division I, you've got all these schools, and like the guy that called in about Lookout Valley, I feel like if we had a small school traditional tournament, Lookout Valley would still have a team. We've lost McMinn Central in the last few years. If we had a small school tournament, I think McMinn Central would still have a team. Trying to get teams like Meigs County to pick up wrestling. Once again, if they've got to go up there and compete with Cleveland and Bradley and Walker Valley, or come down here with Saudi Daisy and Ottawa and Red Bank, they may not do it. I think in order for us to grow, we need to go to a large and small. And again, before everybody starts calling in, criticizing me, I know how a lot of people feel. I've talked with people for years about this, but I just have my own opinion. And my opinion is we need to go to a small school and large school in Division I.
Anytime you lose schools because of certain that's.
And some would argue that maybe it's another reason. I don't think it is. I think if they were having success, they would still be.
I can't imagine, and I'm talking about Lookout Valley because they're so good and so competitive in other sports. There's some tough kids out there in that valley now.
Oh, listen,
tough
I can tell you. That guy mentioned two of them.
Program, wow.
The guy
Dusty
they mentioned,
Griffin.
Dusty Griffith, wasn't just a wrestler. Now, if y'all know sports.
All around.
Pretty good football player and a pretty good baseball player in his own right. Tim Voles was pretty much strictly a wrestler. He was a 5-time qualifier for the state. He won it twice. He's the assistant coach at Notre Dame now, a really, really tough kid. If Tim Voles had been at Lookout Valley and they had, a large and small school, he'd probably be a 4-time champion.
Wow. Let's get Gary before we go to our break. Welcome to Sport Talk and our Check into Cash Wrestling Hour, Gary.
Yeah, I've got a question that, I don't know. I didn't really get interested in wrestling until my grandson started wrestling. He wrestles at Gordon Lee. And then I've got another grandson who plays basketball at Whitwell. But I've noticed our local newspaper doesn't hardly give any kind of coverage. I mean, you may see the score from a wrestling match, but you don't see who did what, who pinned who, or anything like that. And, better coverage.
Disagree. I mean,
I've seen Gordon Lee.
I've seen their box score matches. Maybe it's not every single school, but I've seen them in there.
Well, a lot of time, and I don't know about the situation.
You got to report it.
That's what I was going to say. I don't know about Gordon Lee's particular situation, but somebody's got to call it in. They're not able to put a different reporter for each match.
Yeah, I just want, maybe it's the school's not,
Sometimes it is.
Calling in, reporting, and give them the results and stuff. But
I know enough about it to tell you that's true.
Did have a good write-up by the Free Press.
Well, they can't do every school. We know that.
I understand, but
But I'll tell you, I understand where you're coming from, but I would be willing to bet you if you will compare Chattanooga newspaper to Atlanta, Nashville, whatever, you'll see we're getting a lot more coverage than everybody else. That's what I'm saying.
Or Knoxville or Nashville.
We're fortunate that we get more than most, and this radio show is a classic example. Nobody else has this right here.
I find out more listening to Sport Talk than I do from the newspaper. So.
Bless your heart, Gary.
Jay Greason, are you listening?
Gary, we appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy.
Speaking of North Georgia, though, kudos to Heritage, Coach Kenny Hill, and they're taking 11 wrestlers. What would that be to is that the state tournament?
Yeah, it's got to be the state. I mean, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's the seven AAA traditional wrestling tournament. So, yeah, the state.
To give you an example, Danny, you're talking about coaches need to report. We were talking about the Baylor wrestling stats, and we mentioned it one time. All of a sudden, after we mentioned it, that particular coach started calling them in. Now I've started to look at Baylor basketball. They don't call them in, either men's or women's. I don't understand that. How long does that take to do? I think you're doing your teams and your fans a disservice not to do it.
It can take you a while. I mean, I know, like my first year at East Ridge.
You got kids that do that though.
Well,
don't you?
My first year.
You want it done right?
My first year at East Ridge was the fall of '87. We went up to Nashville and wrestled Father Ryan and Hunter's Lane, and those were two really tough schools. And Father Ryan won the state that year, and we took a beating, and so we leave the match and we go to a restaurant, and my wife and I, we're sitting down eating dinner, and there's some family there, and I have to go use the telephone. There's no cell phones back then, so the cell phone is in the men's bathroom. So I'm standing in the men's bathroom, and I'm calling out 24 individual matches, saying names and getting the score, and what was that name again? And I'm like, Bill Haskew, and your food's out there getting cold. I'm back there probably 20 minutes. And so, when I come out, my wife's like, what on earth? Well, I had to call all this
that is hard.
in there. And so it's not as easy as you think. But again, if the Free Press is going to support us, we've got to do our part. That's just the bottom line.
And you're doing it for the fans. You're doing it for the school. You got to do it. It's part of that big money you make.
Doing it for the kids. Coming right back, it is Sport Talk, and we'll wrap it up. Our Checking the Cash Wrestling Hour, 6:48. It's WGOW, the Talk Monster.
The Talk team you know, trust, and love. Stiles, Reynolds, West, Witkowski, Place, O'Donnell, McGarry, McMahon, Haskew, Varner. Really, the only names that matter in Chattanooga Talk Radio. Talk Radio 102.3.
When you think of the dentist, what comes to mind? Pain, fear, discomfort, anxiety? Many people feel that way, but I see patients every day who describe their dental visits as comfortable, pleasant, and relaxed. Sounds incredible? It is incredible, but it's also possible. I'm Dr. Terry Major, and I've been treating patients here in Chattanooga for over 25 years. If you've been avoiding the dentist, you need to hear about sedation dentistry. With a few small pills, I can sedate you just enough to keep you totally relaxed and comfortably sedated. Before you know it, the appointment will be over and you'll hardly remember a thing. A dental visit that's a comfortable and pleasant experience? It is incredible, and it's available right here in our Chattanooga office.
For a free DVD about sedation dentistry, call Dr. Terry Major at Spring Creek Dental Care, 423-499-9300. That's 423-499-9300. Or visit ChattanoogaDentalCare.com.
The Valentine Challenge can make some men crumble, but not you. Because you are going to have an epiphany. Quick visit to EpiphanyDaySpa.com. You can buy your sweetie one of their legendary spa packages and print the gift certificate right then, any time of the day or night. Get her one of their famous chocolate indulgent spa treatments, a chocolate body scrub, massage, rose petal pedicure, facial, a shampoo and style, hours of pampering that can only make her sweeter. And Epiphany spa packages are available for all budgets. Remember, you can order and print certificates on the spot at EpiphanyDaySpa.com. It's sort of like you've been shopping for hours, only it takes just a few seconds. It doesn't get any easier or sweeter than that. The chocolate body scrub and a full body massage. Can you say sweet? Stop by Epiphany Day Spa on Fraser, 877-2000, or just do it all online in minutes at EpiphanyDaySpa.com.
Roses are red, violets are blue. It's almost Valentine's Day, and gifts from Thunder Creek and Mountain Creek Harley are the best way to say I love you. There's nothing better than your two lovers, your Valentine and your motorcycle. This year, forget the flowers, forget the box of chocolates, and forget that fancy dinner. This year is the year to step up. This year, get something for your Valentine that kickstarts their heart and says, be mine, Harley style. Thunder Creek Harley-Davidson and Mountain Creek Harley-Davidson have everything for your Valentine. What about the Diamond and Ice collection for her bike? It's all bling. Or how about the Harley-Davidson jewelry? Both the Thunder Creek and Mountain Creek Motor Clothes and Parts departments have awesome selections of gifts for your Valentine. After all, Thunder Creek HD and Mountain Creek HD are your Valentine's Day headquarters. Thunder Creek Harley-Davidson, I-75, Exit 7 in Chattanooga, and Mountain Creek Harley-Davidson, I-75, Exit 333 in Dalton. Check us out online at ThunderCreekHarley.com and MountainCreekHarley.com.
Check into Checking the Cash. Got the cash you need when you need it fast. We're your money machine. Money machine. We'll make your wallet sing. Get on up and get down. Check into cash. Ka-ching.
Holidays left you short on cash? Check Into Cash gives you more money for your title and the lowest title loan rate anywhere. If you already have a title loan, ask Check Into Cash about paying it off.
Money in your pocket so quick and easy. Get the cash you need confidentially.
Check Into Cash offers $50 cash back on any new title loan of $750 or more. Lowest rate and $50 cash back only at Check Into Cash.
Check Into Cash is your money machine. Get on up and get down. Check Into Cash. Ka-ching.
Bring proof of lower rate on similar title loan. Restrictions apply. Visit checkintocash.com for the store nearest you.
Motorcyclists often seem rather intimidating. Rough and tumble, real bad mamma jammers. Little do folks know they can actually be quite sensible, especially if they insure their motorcycle with Geico along with their car. Geico's multi-policy discount could save them quite a bit of money. Did I just say bad mamma jammers? Do you ever say something and think, I wish I'd never said that? This is one of them times.
Call Geico or visit geico.com today to see how much our multi-policy discount could save you.
Whether you're looking to update your flooring or you're in the market for a new appliance, find big savings at Lowe's. Right now, get 10% off all major appliances, $299 and up. Plus, get 18-month special financing on major appliances, flooring, and kitchen cabinet and countertop purchases of $599 or more when you use your Lowe's consumer credit card. Hurry into Lowe's for these and other great values every day. Lowe's, never stop improving. Appliance offer valid through 2/13/12. Credit offer valid through 2/15/12. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Jeff Styles, Jim Reynolds, and Kevin West. Mornings on 102.3 The Talk Monster.
$6:54, about 5 minutes here to wrap up our wrestling, Check Into Cash Wrestling Hour on the Talk Monster 102.3. What you got there, buddy? Tell us about it.
UTC will be in the national duels this weekend in Stillwater, Oklahoma at Oklahoma State.
Now, how big is that? I mean, that sounds big.
It is a big deal. People don't look at it the same way they do the traditional in wrestling.
Right.
But still, it's a national duel tournament.
Do you have to be invited to that?
Yes.
Or? Okay.
Yes.
So
in other words, you're seeded, really. You're one of the top programs.
Well, sometimes you're drawn, but there are going to be some seeded schools. That part's for sure. They will separate out certain schools, and the rest will be drawn in.
They think enough of UTC's program to invite them.
To invite them, yeah. And they're going to take on Wyoming in the first match, my understanding.
Now, when was the last time they did that, or is this the first?
I think there's been another year we went to the duels, but I'm not positive.
Pretty darn good stuff, though.
Yeah.
Very good stuff.
Congratulations, Mox.
And that's this weekend in Stillwater.
Yeah, it'll start Sunday.
Fantastic. Kudos to them. Anything else? Any big matches? I guess everybody's getting ready for the region work, right?
Yeah, now all the dual meets are over. Everybody's settling down, fine-tuning, There's not a lot of you're not doing a lot of teaching any new moves right now. You may be showing some counters to something to a particular person you're going to wrestle, but really what you're trying to do is get in practice, fine-tune everybody, get everybody healthy.
Get everybody healthy. I was going to say that's probably priority number one, right?
Yeah, a lot of them are beat up this weekend,
And there's one good thing that came out of this show, not on the air live, but I'm going to say it now. You mentioned and have given me hope that one day the traditionals might return to Chattanooga if there is cooperation among the right people.
Yes.
And that's what it takes.
And I
the
think
coaches a lot of them want to see it.
A lot of the coaches, I heard referees say they like, the tournament at UTC better. Now, as far as the dual meet tournament goes, I think it's great at Franklin. They've got room for it. I think it's a great atmosphere. I really like it up there. As far as the traditional tournament, I'm prejudiced toward UTC. I like it there,
Not a bad seat in the house, though, when you have the configuration of the arena.
Yeah, you're just right on top of it.
Right.
Whereas, you're pretty distant from it as far as, like when you go to the distance you are from the middle of the mat where you are, it's a long ways.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of being right there on top of it where you're 10 feet from it, you're more like
And if
40.
you're a Saudi Daisy fan in the traditionals, you might be seeing a match here, and then the next Saudi Daisy match might be way at the other end.
Very well. Well,
and you
they
might
pretty
not be
much
able to
keep
see
Division 1 on one end and Division 2 on the other.
Do they?
Yeah. Yeah, the last, they'll have 10 mats down or 8 mats down.
But a fan might want to see both.
And that's where you run into your trouble.
Mm-hmm.
That's where people, have problems with it. For example, you're just a wrestling fan, and you're sitting down on one end of the gym watching Campbell Lewis, and on the other end, Zach Watson's wrestling. Well, you're not going to be able to see it real well from both.
So if there's a sports and events committee, does that still exist, or did they?
I think so.
Down there?
Yeah.
If it still exists, let's see if there's interest.
I'd sure like to see the traditional.
I would too.
As far as the dual meet tournament goes, I like it.
Man, you pack 4,000 people in there.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing like it.
So the regions start Friday?
Friday, more than likely they'll probably weigh in at 4 and start wrestling 5 or 6.
Locations around our area would
Bradley
be?
County will host one, and Saudi Daisy will host the other.
There you go.
And so, you just have to kind of watch the paper and see exactly what time they're going to start.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm assuming weighing in at 3, wrestling at 5, or weighing in at 4 and wrestling at 6. It'll be one of the two.
Fantastic. Danny, we always appreciate it, buddy. You do a great
thank you.
job.
Enjoy it.
Keep your golf game straight.
I'm getting loose
I
as
noticed
we
you
speak.
practicing.
Yes. It is Sport Talk, and we'll have a special guest tomorrow. Also, we'll be back with our Prater's Hardwood Flooring Round Ball segment. Brendan Quinn from Nougat.com will join us there. We'll talk about how great Kentucky is. It's about the only news in the college basketball
And
world. And they are good, no doubt.
Where is Syracuse now?
About 2. They're one of the top 3. It's Syracuse, Ohio State, Kentucky.
Well, you a
Throw 'em
Syracuse
in a hat.
fan?
I just know they were undefeated. They were 19, 20 games into the season, still undefeated.
Yeah, they've lost a couple, but they're still good. They're one of the best 3, I think.
I think that's impressive with them, with what the scandal they faced at the beginning of the season, to be able to focus the way they have.
Yeah,
pretty
that guy's
impressive.
a great coach. Now.
Yeah,
He sure
no
is.
doubt.
Enjoyed it, Danny. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
See you again tomorrow at 4 o'clock. People's Home Equity coming up. The Buyer's Market right after ABC News Time.
Tom Brady talk tomorrow.
I've said all I need to say.
I think you'll talk again.
We're moving on to Tiddlywinks tomorrow.
Well, pick up
Mixed
sticks.
double checkers.
Pixie sticks. Have a great night, everybody. WGWFM, Saudi Daisy, Chattanooga. We're out of here. See ya.